As a young boy growing up in the Bronx, our next guest never dreamed of being a star. In fact, he didn't start acting until he was 35 years old. But today, Danny Aiello is one of Hollywood's heavyweights. Danny Aiello is an Academy Award and Golden Globe nominated actor who became famous playing tough guys in films and television, but he became a Hollywood superstar in breakout films like Moonstruck and Do the Right Thing. And for our corner table lunch, we didn't go to one of those Hollywood hotspots, but rather to a bucolic setting that revealed the tough guy's tender side. Danny's restaurant pick was the Old Mill Inn in Spring Lake, New Jersey. Spring Lake is a quiet and sophisticated resort town with 2 miles of uncluttered beach, a non-commercial boardwalk, and perfectly preserved turn-of-the-century Victorian homes.
Well, I love this place, the Old Mill Inn.
I love it too, Bill.
Look at the food. I've got the crab meat and shrimp, the Maryland crab cakes, and you, of course, daring enough to order.
I'm an Italian guy, capellini with a marinara sauce. I love it. No one makes it like Joe Emil's
That's terrific.
Old Mill Inn.
What do you like about this place?
Well, look at the surroundings. They're beautiful. The help is great. Reflects the owner, Joe Emil. You're taken care of here. You feel as if you're at home. The food is great. The greatest steak you can get anywhere.
You're going to have a steak.
I'm having a steak right
This
here.
is your turf. I mean, not surf and turf, but this is you're building a home near here,
Well,
right?
no, actually, I'm building the home in Saddle River, which is quite a distance from here. But I come down here once a week to visit with Joe and have my food. I get my fill of food.
So you know the menu here.
I know it well, and it's helpful not having to pay for it, too.
The Old Mill Inn is a 200-seat lakeside restaurant with a menu featuring sumptuous steaks from their special temperature-controlled aging room. Danny's longtime friend, Old Mill Inn owner Joe Emil, lets us in on the secret to grilling the perfect steak.
2 things make a steak great. One is the aging. We age our steaks here 5 weeks. The second thing is the marbleization of the meat. That's the little flecks of fat that go through the meat. That's what makes it prime. The final thing, of course, is when you cook it, it should be cooked on a grill 1800 degrees to sear in the juices.
Danny will get his steak in a minute, but first, a question.
The interesting thing is, you are not, and you proudly admit, you're not a formally trained actor. You're an instinctive actor.
Yeah.
What are you doing as an untrained actor that makes this work so well?
My reason for not studying, because I don't want those people out there who are studying to be actors to think that it's wrong to study. It's good for many people, and it would have been for me as well. It could have been a shortcut for me. Unfortunately, I had begun acting at the age of 35, and I was a man in a hurry. I simply didn't have the time to stop and go to school and begin to learn acting from get one. I just couldn't do it.
Danny almost turned down his Academy Award-nominated role in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing because of what he thought were Italian stereotypes.
I opened it and I saw Pizza Man, and I called Spike back and I said, I'm not interested. He said, oh,
Spike
please.
Lee. Yeah.
He said, Danny, look at it a little better, and I did. I called him back and said, I read it again. I said, but Spike, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you give me the opportunity to have some significant input, he said, okay. And that significant input is to sort of mold my character in a manner in which I felt it should have been molded. What I know about Italian Americans, which might be more than what he knows about Italian Americans.
That makes sense.
But he finally made all the decisions as to what stayed and what went. So he was smart enough to say, yeah, go, Danny. And I gave him, and I gave him, and I gave him, and he edited. So
and you were happy with the result?
I was happy with the result. I never would have thought that I could have gotten the Academy Award nomination from it, but that is, of course, what happened.
Lunch continued with Danny's dream dish.
Danny, you got one of Joe's great steaks, right?
Yeah, there's a New York strip sirloin steak. It's my favorite. Medium well. This is what I generally have
Medium
whenever
well.
I come here. Medium well.
Let me take a look at the inside there.
Oh, please.
Look,
do.
that is medium well.
It is, and you saw the way I cut it. It's like butter. Do you mind if I taste my steak?
We're going for it.
Okay.
I've got scallops here, which are pan-seared. It's not butter. It is herb broth, which is the way I like to eat my scallops. I don't like a buttery dish. Let me go.
I'm not a big fish person or seafood person, but my wife Sandy dies by
You
the
don't eat
seafood.
any
Yeah.
seafood.
Not any seafood, not any fish.
How come?
I'm a steak and potato
What
guy.
happened? Did you have a bad experience with a dolphin once?
No, I had many allergies as a young Italian-American boy,
Right.
and any food that looked ugly to me, I wouldn't eat.
Where were you in the Bronx?
I was in what was called Fort Apache, the Bronx, which is a movie that I made with Paul Newman.
Right.
And in that particular movie, my character threw someone off a roof. Terrible thing to do. the building in which I tossed that kid off of. Of course, it was only make-believe.
Right.
Is a building that I grew up in and lived in.
Again, what was the dinner table like when you were 12 years old in your house?
It was sensational. But you see, we were very, very poor, okay? And
How poor
we
were
were
you?
as poor as it's imaginable. We were on what they called in those days home relief, which today, of course, is called welfare.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a dad home. Mama was legally blind at the
7
time.
children.
And 7 children. She would take in sewing, uniforms, and things of that nature. Our famous meals were potatoes and eggs. And Mama, because I didn't like peppers, she would exclude peppers from mine. I'd eat the potatoes and eggs. And Mama would have potatoes and eggs and peppers. That very cheaply could feed an entire family of 7 children and my mom without a problem.
And what's his Danny like to eat now that he's a star?
Steak and potato, man. Pasta. I could eat macaroni it is macaroni,
Yeah,
not
it's
pasta.
macaroni, that's right.
I can eat macaroni and gravy, it's not sauce, forever.
We're going to take a boat ride on the lake in the next segment. But I would like one of your tough characters, Danny, maybe like the last Don.
Geez, he was 80 years old.
Well, no, when he was a little bit younger, to tell the viewer that they have to stay tuned for what we're going to do.
I'm Danny Aiello. And I'm telling you, don't turn off this set. Bill and I are going out to the barge. I'm going to expect you to be there when we get there. You understand?
Welcome back to the corner table. We're at the Old Mill Inn in the oceanside resort town of Spring Lake, New Jersey, about to indulge in dessert with Hollywood heavyweight Danny Aiello.
Isn't it beautiful sitting out here?
Jeez, this is
You
it.
should know that it's very shallow here, so there's no danger whatsoever. We can't bottom out, but this is a flat bottom boat.
But you could get seasick.
But I can. I can get seasick in a bathtub, Bill.
You have
That's my
allergies,
problem.
you get seasick?
Allergies, seasick.
First of all, let's look at these desserts. We've got the cheesecake, the original.
This is originally from Jack Dempsey's, which is quite a famous cheesecake throughout
That's
the world.
the recipe for it.
Yeah, and this is the recipe. And of course, we have tiramisu, which has originated his rendition of it here at the Old Mill.
Little
in
chocolate
Mills.
decadence
That's,
cake.
yeah, that's delicious.
And chocolate mousse. Wow, that's a showstopper. That's so good. Couple of quick signature questions. If we go to your house right now and open the refrigerator, what's in there? What's in your refrigerator at home right now?
Probably my architect.
Of your new house. You got him wrapped up and he's in the
It's a
freezer.
new house, right? No, what's in the refrigerator?
What's in your refrigerator?
We have a lot of Diet Coke. We have chicken pieces in the freezer. Of course, the various things, the things that are normally in the refrigerator.
Nothing spectacular.
Nothing
well
at this
stocked.
point. I'm sorry?
Is it a well-stocked refrigerator or?
Oh yeah, it's loaded with things that mean absolutely nothing. I keep saying to Sandy, why are these things still in the refrigerator? You know, the last thing you clean out, I suppose, is a refrigerator. You have food, you forget about it, and it stays in there.
So it's like an archaeological expedition.
Exactly.
Going through various phases of your career in the refrigerator.
It's eclectic at its best. What I'm saying is there's taste in there, forget about it. It doesn't all match. There's so many different things, but nothing of any significance.
You know what I like you just said? Forget about it. I went the entire
No, they
interview with
gonna
that.
forget about
Hey,
it.
forget about it. All right, here's another one. Now, this is hypothetical, but think for a second. Other than where we are right now, which is pretty lovely, if we could be beamed up like Star Trek,
Yeah.
beam you up and beam you down anywhere in the world tonight, where do you want to be having dinner with Sandy, and who would you like to be having dinner with? Anywhere in the world, Danny.
In Italy, Rome.
In Rome? Where in Rome?
It's a particular restaurant right off, I was going to say Champs-Élysées in Paris, and right off Via Veneto.
Right.
It's Gerarosta is the restaurant. It's a small restaurant right off of Via Veneto. And I would be eating, they have a spaghetti, I don't know the name of which, but it's very thick. Their spaghetti is very, very thick and wholesome. It's homemade stuff with the beautiful fresh mozzarella that they have. They have buffalo mozzarella as well, which I'm not particularly a fan.
But you don't eat a lot of cheese. Now, of all the different people you could have as one guest, you and Sandy, who do you want to see sitting
I would
across?
love to see Mastriani, may he rest in peace.
Danny, suppose theoretically we could come back here in 10 years. 10 years of your life and my life have passed. What do you want to be able to say about what life has been like in that period?
I want to say that my life was fulfilled. I had a great time while I was on this earth, and I'm looking for a better time in heaven. because I know that's where I'm going. Because I'm certainly not the worst of those that have died, and most of them probably went down. So I'm remaining good because I want to end up there.
Well, since we last had lunch with Danny Aiello, he's completed 2 films, Off Key, where he plays an opera singer, and an independent film called Dinner Rush, so we'll have to make a reservation for that one.